Hello and welcome to Mental Adventures. I'm Big Lee, and today I want to discuss repetition in wargaming. Does it have any value? So today I'm going back to another reader's question, and this is quite an old one that somehow I managed to overlook. Cimaranakad, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, asked, are wargame societies becoming pointless, a never-ending stream of the same battles, or bats, uniforms, etc., with little real advancements in research? And then he also asked a follow-up question, which I actually think is a second part of the same thing. Whilst engaging in a war game is usually enjoyable, what enjoyment can wargamers get from repeatedly replaying the same battle over and over? So looking back in my comments, I don't think I actually had a reply at the time. I suspect I didn't quite know how to respond. I decided to have a think about it and then forgot about it, which is my way. So some sort of answer to those two joined questions is long overdue. So I should start by saying that I've never belonged to a wargame society in the traditional sense, at least not since I've been an active historical wargamer. So in some respects I'm going to find it hard to answer the specific premise of the question. I can't, for instance, address the question about research within societies as I've never really experienced it, although I will come back to that a little bit later. As I've mentioned many times before, I've never belonged to a traditional wargaming club. Postage Rejics is much more of a loose association of friends rather than a formal organisation. But I do think I can address the question of repetition in battles, because I have indulged in this myself, and the Rejics have also, on occasion, revisited battles for a second look. So earlier I said I'd no experience of research within an organisation, and that's largely true. But as an outsider, of course inviting insiders to comment, of course, I have to ask the question, is there really any need and necessity for this to take place? Now I'm speculating here, but I guess it's the difference between a club and a society, and the latter would be expected to take a more academic approach in their period of interest. Indeed, I have recently benefited from just such focus because I've bought several publications from the Lance and Longbow Society for my Wars and Roses project. It's unlikely that this would have been available outside of normal academic circles, and certainly not available to the average wargamer. So if you're a member of a society rather than a club, I'd love to hear your opinion on the matter and on the differences between a society and a wargames club. Now, repetition is something I think I can comment on with a little more confidence. My group normally play such a diverse range of games in all different scales, and sometimes in different venues, face-to-face, online and so on. But even in our group, we have occasionally repeated a game. One notable example was the Battle of Liegnitz, 1757, I believe, when we played the game initially using the Age of Reason, and then we all decided we'd like to give it another shot, and so we replayed the game a few weeks later using Königskrieg. Not only did it give both sides a second bite of the cherry, but it also gave us a chance to compare two different rule sets that, for the same period. And I think everyone agreed that repeating the game using a different rule set was an experiment that we enjoyed and would like to repeat again. And certainly I've done the same with solo games here in the operations room, for instance. I've occasionally played the same battle over and over again. My Bass Long Range Desert Group battle, for instance, originally played it with the group as a demo game, but I've played it twice here in the operations room as solo games, just to see how things work out, and these are a different way of doing things. So there's definitely value in being able to refight the same battle more than once. And it has to be said as well that it's clear from attending shows that there are some battles that are going to be repeated over and over again by different groups. You know, Hastings, Waterloo, Bosworth, Agincourt, they come up time and time again at shows. And just because a game has been done before doesn't necessarily mean that this particular group of players have played it before, and each refight, of course, teases out a new perspective and understanding of the encounter. And as I found when I'd done my Rorke's Drift game here a couple of years ago, there's some battles that you look forward to trying out regardless whether everyone else has already done it before. So there are many battles that that I would love to do, and regardless of how well played they are by other people. It may be cliched, but one day I want to do Waterloo and so on. So what do you think? Is there merit in replaying the same battles more than once? I'd love to hear your experience of this, and especially if you belong to a society that replays the same battles over and over again. As I said, I've never belonged to a wargame society or even indeed a club, so I would always appreciate your comments, experience and insight in the comments below. So if you enjoyed today's video, please like, subscribe and share, and if you want to keep up to date with weekly content from this channel, please tap the bell notification icon. So until next week, stay safe, keep gaming and of course keep rolling high.